North Central MN Press here, coming at you live from Brainerd, Minnesota, Brainerd Police Department. The reason I'm here today is because I would like to get the original police report from an incident last April 2022. As you can see, this police report, it was reported on 4/23/2022 and modified on 4/25/2022 that something allegedly happened on 4/24/2022. Well, I don't know why you'd originally report it on 4/23 if it didn't happen until 4/24, and then you modify it on 4/25. So what I'm going in here to do is make a public data request for the original report before it was modified. We'll see how far we get with that. Oh, I got a couple thumbs ups already. I got one in the chat. Just maybe wait for, there's 2 people in the chat. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get down to it, so I ain't standing out here on the corner. Let's get her done. It was put on my heart to do this morning. What I'm doing here is combating policing for profit. What I should have done was showed you my notice of dismissal. My case got dropped last June 2022. And I came back and filed an officer complaint. And of course they investigated themselves, found that they did no wrong. Interesting how they knew the future but not correctly. Yes, they reported it on 4/23 that I did something on 4/24 and then modified it on 4/25. I'll be danged. The problem here is this officer had no probable cause or no evidence to issue a citation. And I have a feeling that he actually told the truth on the original report. And this one that was falsified or modified on 4/25 is the made-up story that allegedly happened on 4/24. Well, I was cited on 4/23, and I believe the original police report tells the truth. And this modified one or falsified one, he's lying. So let's go see if we can find the original police report, which I believe to be the truth. Here we go. Three people, thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate that. Cheryl, how are you doing? Good. I thought I had everything involved with this case last year, but it turns out I don't. If you can see this police report, and then I'd like that back actually, you can see that it was reported on 4/23. It was originally reported on 4/23 up at the top there. And then it was modified on 4/25 to say that something happened on 4/24, if you read down on the bottom there. And so I'm not sure how it could be originally reported on 4/23 and then modified on 4/25 that the incident happened on 4/24. And so what I'm looking to get is the original report before it was modified.
There would be no record.
There'd be no record of that.
So what this modified means, it just means that somebody went in and changed something.
Right.
It could have been a comma, it could have been putting ownership on it, it could have been the name of it. So, but it just changes it, and there's no way to go back and get it.
There's no record of that original
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
I could ask my supervisor and see if there's a way that she can do that.
Okay.
I know.
Even if there isn't, I'd still like to put in a public data request for it anyway, just to show on record that I did request that. If I can fill that out, if you want to talk to your supervisor.
She's not here at the moment.
Oh, she isn't.
She'll be back at about noon-ish.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, they hung up. So, did you want to fill this
Yes, I'd like to fill it out anyway, and then I need that so that I can know what I'm filling out here. So I'm gonna fill that out real quick here. Sorry guys, you gotta watch me fill out a boring old FOIA request here, but incident number, we have 22005-165. Date of incident 4/23/2022. Type of incident is gonna be citation. Location of incident is gonna be 4th Street North and Washington
Not that I'm familiar with, but let me have you.
Street, and that's Brainerd.
You're welcome.
And name of data subject, we're gonna leave that blank. Date of birth, left it blank. Other names, aliases, no. Detailed description of information requested. I'm looking for the original incident report. For incident ICR number 22005-165 before it was. Should I do it, guys? Should I do it before it was falsified? I mean, modified. On 4/2022. What am I missing, guys? We're looking for the original incident report before it was falsified on 4/25. Original report was on 4/23/2022. That should do it. Date of request. What's the date today, guys? I think it's the 23rd, maybe? Is it the 23rd day? Is it the 23rd today, Cheryl?
Sorry, what?
Is it the 23rd today?
Yes, it is.
Okay. 6/23. Requester name, no. And I want him to get back to me by email. Contact information.
I'll be right back in just a second, okay?
Okay. Cheryl had to go back and do something. She said she'd be right back. And this is anonymous. Okay, that should do it. So just to show you guys, so I have it on record here. You guys can enlarge that and take a look at it later. But that's what I'm looking for, is the original report, not the modified report. And I think that should do it there, Cheryl.
Alrighty.
Can I get a copy of that stamped receipt, please?
You bet.
Do you want a copy of the original report or the modified?
I can just
The,
take it for
the
reference.
modified report, sure. I redacted all of my name and date of birth and stuff off there, but
Okay.
the incident, you know.
Okay, there's that back.
All right, thank you.
Get a copy of this.
Awesome.
Do you want your original or do you want the request or the copy?
I'll take it does, what do you normally give people back, the copy?
It doesn't make, usually,
Okay.
you usually don't get this back.
Okay, I'll just take yeah, I can just have a copy back as long as it's marked received.
All right, there you go.
And your supervisor, or the records person is not in
Nope, not
until,
right now. She's on her lunch break.
okay, who is the custodian of records here?
Well, that would be the chief technically.
Oh, the custodian is the chief.
Okay.
Chief, who's the chief nowadays?
John Davis.
John Davis.
And ultimately, the responsible authority is going to be the city administrator.
City administrator. City admin. Jennifer Bergman.
Yes.
So these are who is responsible for these records. And all right, I believe that is all I should need. That should do it. Anything else you need from me?
No.
All right. And then this is stamped.
Ready?
This is stamped received, no?
Did you want me to?
Yeah. Just to show it was received.
I don't know if I've changed this yet today.
And I can just watch you stamp both of them. There you go. That's good enough there.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.
You too.
Thanks. All right, folks, that's all we're in here doing this time. Because if you make it too complicated for these public officials, they all of a sudden get confused and make mistakes. I mean, I could have went in and asked for the entire file from the internal investigation, but I don't even want to get into the internal workings of this crooked outfit. You know, you give yourself a headache. You give yourself a headache. All I want is the public data. That's it. You guys can do whatever you want to internally. I don't care. If you want to keep the criminal officer employed, you can do that. I don't even care at this point. I just want the data so that I can hold the officer accountable, since you guys won't. Since you all won't. So now I have to come in and do it. So we'll see how far we get with that request. I'm pretty sure that's public data. The original report should be public data before it was modified. We'll find out what they say about it. But I recommend you guys, anybody from Minnesota that's watching out there, to read up on Chapter 13 of the Minnesota statute. That's the Minnesota Data Practices Act. And so that you guys know the law. And they're actually, that law doesn't apply to us. Chapter 13 of the Minnesota statute doesn't apply to us. There's a lot of parts of the Minnesota statute that don't apply to us. For example, the part of the statute that applies to healthcare workers. I mean, if you're not a healthcare worker, the part of the statute that applies to healthcare workers is not going to apply to you. You know, if you're not a public official, the Minnesota Data Practices Act is not going to apply to you. If you are not a lot of parts of the statute, they only apply to certain people. for whom the statute was written, and it's to regulate commerce. They can't restrict rights using the. They can't restrict rights. They can't restrict rights by using those statutes. It just so happens that this time I was actually driving. I was transporting goods for a fee. So I was actually driving and not merely traveling this time, which makes it a little more difficult for me. If I was merely traveling, boy, we'd be a lot farther along on this case. But here we are a year later, over a year later, and nothing has happened. Nothing has happened with it. So they get away with it. And I hate policing for profit with a passion. And so basically, you know, when an officer pulls somebody like me over and they issue a citation without probable cause, and I drive for a living, I mean, that could put me out of a job. You know, it's not just the $270 ticket, which initiating a communications device is a hefty fine. It's not just the fine you have to worry about. If you're a contracted driver, you have to worry about losing your contract for the traffic violation. You also have to worry about your insurance going up to an unaffordable rate for the next 3 years. I mean, you got to worry about that. And so a lot of us up here in the north central Minnesota, I mean, a lot of us don't make a ton of money. It's not like we can afford to pay off this citation and lose our job as a driver and pay the increased insurance premiums and, you know, take time off work fighting these battles in courts. You know what I mean? It's not like we can afford to do that. And so I don't mind the law enforcement officers out there enforcing the law. If there's people that are injuring people, threatening bodily injury, damaging property, I'm perfectly fine with them arresting, citing, detaining, whatever, those people. It's the people that have not injured anybody, have not threatened bodily injury, have not damaged any property that they issue citations to and arrest. Those are the kinds of things that I combat around here in north central Minnesota. This time it's in Brainerd. Again, Brainerd Police Officer Bryce Johnson, badge number 725, issued a citation without probable cause back on April 23rd, 2022. Falsified the police report on 4/25/2022 and said that the incident happened on 4/24, which is a day after the incident was reported. You know, something funny's going on there. And again, I believe the officer told the truth on the original report. That's why I am asking for it, because I believe the original report will basically be the officer's admission that he had no evidence to issue the citation. So that's why I requested the original report. Cheryl in here said that it wasn't, that they couldn't access that information, but you know they can. So that's what we're in here doing today. I have some other business to attend to. I might pop back on later today since I'm here in town. But I do have to work here this afternoon, so it might be another day. Plus, I don't like to mess around too much on Friday, because if they try to dream up a reason to arrest you, well, you're sitting in there until Monday, and I got work to do this weekend. So we're taking it easy today. Just made a FOIA request for the original incident report from 4/23/2022, and we're gonna get home and get prepared to go to work here this afternoon. So I hope you all enjoy your weekend. Thanks for tuning in. Go ahead and hit the like button, share, subscribe. I do appreciate it. I wouldn't do this without you guys. I'm telling you, the response was overwhelming. Within the first 2 weeks of beginning to record last year, about a year ago was when I started recording. As a matter of fact, it was a year ago yesterday a year ago yesterday. It's June 23rd, 2023 today. My channel is exactly 1 year old yesterday. So, and not that nothing like this has happened. Look at the report. It says supplemental report. There's an original somewhere. I know, Anon. I know there's an original somewhere. That's what I did. That's what I just, the original incident report before it was falsified, I mean modified on 425. Original report was on 423. I'm looking for the original. I know, it says, I noticed that as well. What he's talking about here is it says supplemental report here. So there's got to be an original somewhere. That's where I get it, Anonymous. That's a cool name, by the way. So thank you for that. I think that just about wraps it up here. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to stick, well, I don't want to do that because I don't want to get caught reaching over and ending it. But I just like to keep this live going until I get the heck out of here safely, because God knows what kind of retaliation. I mean, they already took my job away from me, my seasonal job with the city. They already did not rehire me after 12 years because I filed this report, this officer complaint last year. They retaliated against me by not hiring me back for my temporary seasonal job. So they do love to retaliate. So I'm gonna make sure they have nothing to retaliate against me for. I'm gonna go ahead and end the live. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next time. Oh, we'll stay until you end it. Just lay us on the seat. We'll stay until you end it. All right, I appreciate that. I think I'm gonna do that, Anonymous. Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and, here, let's see if I can prop it up here and give you guys a little dash cam here. Yeah, we'll take a trip through Brainerd here. Can you guys see there? Prop it up on my dash. There we go. Thanks, Anonymous. I appreciate you guys hanging with me until I get out of here safely. I know there's going to be a lot of dead air. Nothing happening on this video, more than likely, unless we run into something on our way out of here. We use our blinker. We're buckled up. And here we go, getting out of this gangland here. Oops. Getting out of the gangland. Here we go. This is the west side of downtown here. Roll my window up so you guys can hear me. Check my rear view. Don't see anybody back there yet. Was gonna head back over to City Hall and make another public data request over there. I got the information for the number of umpires that applied to be an umpire this year with the city of Brainerd and the number of umpires that were actually hired. They said that there was 12 umpires that applied for the position and 10 hired. So they had to make it 12 instead of 11 that applied. Otherwise, it would have shown that they singled me out. And of course, I can't get the name of the other applicant that didn't get the job because that's not public data. I could have got the names of the people that did get the job, but that doesn't really do me a lot of good. I can't. I mean, who wants to talk to the people that did get the job? I mean, that's not what I'm trying to do here, but. So these people will cost you a lot of money. They'll issue you a citation without any evidence, and then they won't hire you back next year when you go to apply for your temporary seasonal job back. And I'm not seeing anybody behind me, guys. I just don't want to touch that phone until I pull back over here. I know this will make this live a little bit long, but as soon as I get out of the city here, just let me get out of the city limits of Brainerd, and then I'll pull over and shut the live off once I'm out of the city limits. Coming up right up here is where I often see an officer hanging out without lights on in the evening when it's dark out. This officer will be sitting right up here at the corner of Riverside and Beaver Dam. They like to sit up here right on the city limits, up here on a windy hilly road. So there's one patrolling right over there at the Civic Center. You can see him off to our left. Hopefully, if the camera's still in position, you can see him. But I ain't touching that thing until I get out of the city limits here and I get pulled over. Right up here. You see where that car is in the other lane up there? Coming the other direction where that car just turned off up there. Right over here on this shoulder to our left is where this officer likes to hang out. Right here on the shoulder. And he'll turn his lights off at night, and he'll wait for people coming in to the 35-mile-an-hour speed zone from that way. And we're out of the city limits now. We just left the city limits. We're getting through a little construction area here, so I don't want to stop right now. I'm gonna pull off right up here and end this live so you guys don't get a bunch of nothing on the live stream. Right up here. Pull up right up here into these townhomes. Okay. Put her in park. There. Anybody still here? Oh, we still got a couple people with me. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I am now to the city limits. I'm parked lawfully, and so I can pick up my phone and end this live. I'm out of the city limits, so I'm out of the Brainerd Police Department's jurisdiction. I'm still in the Crow Wing County Sheriff's jurisdiction. You got to watch out for those guys too. But the city police are the real animals around here, at least. Well, I got some business to deal with the sheriff as well, but this city incident that happened last year is what I came in to take care of here today. And it's not an overnight deal, guys. It's not an overnight deal. I mean, like I said, this incident happened over a year ago, and I mean, I have 2 other jobs. You know, it's not like I can do this full time, and it's kind of discouraging when you're issued a citation with no evidence, and then you file an officer complaint and you make data requests, and the data requests come back manipulated somehow. You can't get the actual public data, and the public data is what has evidence of their crimes on it. And so if they manipulate the public data, they manipulate the evidence of their own crimes. And so that's what goes on around here. And so I'm just trying to cut through a little bit of this to maybe lead them to think twice before policing for profit. You know they're still going to do it. But if they run into guys like me, they're, especially with, let me show you something. I'm going to show you one other thing, guys. I'm going to show you one other thing while I got you on the live. I'm gonna block my own name out here. I'm gonna block my own name out. Let's look at this. Oh boy. Dated June 1st, 2022. State of Minnesota versus me. There's the court file number. The state of Minnesota hereby dismisses the charge in the above named case for the following reasons. Prosecutorial discretion. Well, it is good prosecutorial discretion of the assistant to drop this before the arraignment. The arraignment was scheduled for July 5th. He dropped this to go forward with the officer, falsified police report, and tampered with dash body cams, and the original body cams show that there was no evidence to issue the citation. So I'm going to put that away. I just wanted to show you guys the notice of dismissal. The officer complaint did not go in until the case was dismissed. I mean, it does you no good to file an officer complaint with the case still pending. So I had to get that dismissed. I put a little heat on the prosecutor. The term malicious prosecution came up once or twice, and that's when the prosecutor prosecutes without evidence. Fourth Amendment rights violation is when the officer issues a citation in lieu of arrest without evidence. And malicious prosecution would be when the prosecutor prosecutes that case without any evidence. And so the prosecutor avoided malicious prosecution because I hadn't yet seen a judge. He dismissed the case before arraignment. And so that was pretty smart of him. But that left the officer on the hook, because a prosecutor is not going to dismiss a case when there's evidence of the individual's guilt. They're not nice people. They don't just drop cases for individuals because they like them, you know. He dropped the case because he had to. There's no evidence to issue the citation. He had to drop the case. Plus, the officer lied on the police report and tampered with dash and body cam evidence. And he's not going to want to put that officer on the stand. I would have shredded him. So he dropped the case. I filed the officer complaint last July. And I was just talking to a friend of mine, and he said, hey, you should make a public data request for the original police report. So that's what I was in here doing. At any rate, I don't want to bore you guys too much. We're 33 minutes into the live. I'm going to go ahead and end it. Thank you, especially Anonymous. Thank you. I appreciate you helping me through this. This is only my fourth live. I only have 22 videos on my channel, you know. And so I don't have a lot of experience doing this yet. And so it's the viewers that help me through it, you know. I had 700 subscribers in my first 2 weeks doing this, and it just the response just took me back. I didn't even think I was going to get 700 views, let alone 700 subscribers. I couldn't believe it in the first week or two. And so I became inactive for about 6 months there, but now here recently, within the last month or so, I've started going live a few times just to show you guys. You know, I've shown you guys a few cases in here. You got this citation without probable cause. You got the county sheriff preventing us from recording in the judicial center. You have the Pequot Lakes, which is up that way. The city of Pequot Lakes withholding public data up there. I mean, there's all kinds of criminal activity committed by public officials here in the Brainerd Lakes area, north central Minnesota. So I'm gonna keep covering it, guys. I'm only one guy with 2 other jobs. I don't do this for a living. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see y'all next time. Thank you.